Okay, so welcome back, and now we're going to do an example, actually an example that puts all of the stuff that we've been learning in this section to the test, so we can just figure out what the behavior is and evaluate these limits based on the behavior of a graph. Okay, so here's what we're going to deal with. So I want you to pause, and I want you to write this down. I'm going to show you the graph, okay, but I want you to pause, write these things down, and then we're going to go through, and I want you to use the graph to answer these, evaluate these limits and evaluate the function at these x values. Okay, so now here is the function we're dealing with. Okay, so let me bring it up. Okay, so there's the function. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is you pause the video and answer all the questions, and then come back and I'll give you the answers. Okay, so now let's start with the first one. So we look at the graph, and the first thing is we want the limit as x approaches -4 from the left of f of x. So we're approaching -4 from the left, and so what I get is as we approach -4 from the left, we get the limit is 0. If we approach -4 from the right, we also get 0. And then the limit, since these two go to the same value, then the limit here has to be 0, right? And the value of f of -4 is 0. Okay, so there's the first one. Now let's do the limit of f of x as x approaches -2 from the left. So now I'm looking at the graph. We're approaching -2 from the left, and that tells me from looking at the graph, the limit is going to be 3. And if we approach -2 from the right, the limit of f of x is also 3. And the limit then, because these two go to the same value, the limit as x approaches -2 of f of x is going to be 3. Now, the value of f of -2 does not exist, okay, because there's a hole in the graph. And there's no other dots for f of x that is filled in anywhere for x equals -2. Okay, let's look at C. Now we're going to approach 1 from the left. Okay, as we approach 1 from the left, the limit is going to be 6. As we approach 1 from the right, the limit is going to be 3. Now, since these two don't go to the same value, the limit as x approaches 1 of f of x does not exist. And what is the value of the function at 1? Well, according to the graph, it's equal to 6. And then finally, part D, what is the limit of f of x as we approach 3 from the left? Well, this is going to go to -infinity. And then also approaching 3 from the right also goes to -infinity, which means the limit of this is -infinity. And what is the value of f of 3? Does not exist. There's a vertical asymptote located there. Okay? And so the value of f of 3 does not exist. And that's it. That's easy to use what we've learned. Practice. Have a great night.